What's up everyone? Welcome back to One Strange Adventure. Welcome to the next video. Today we're in Indiana, specifically Batesville.
Batesville, Indiana. We're at Indian Lakes RV Resort,
which is part of the Thousand Trails Network. Today we're going to be riding around showing you this campground because it's actually really nice. And while we're doing that, we thought, hey, it's been over 6 months since we started this journey.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about what we've learned while being on the road.
Being full-time.
Forgot to tell you, the way we're going to do that is with our e-bikes. We're going to take our e-bikes around and, of course, get some footage of that too. So
should be a nice video.
Oh, it's so pretty out right now.
It's beautiful.
At least in the shade.
We got a really bad storm that came through yesterday.
And it's cooled it down.
It's cooled it down.
Tomorrow's supposed to be even cooler, so we're going to be doing some more stuff there tomorrow too.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's go.
What's something you've learned?
I have learned that not everything goes to plan, and you definitely have to be flexible.
Yes. Flexibility is one of the biggest things that I think I've taken away from living in an RV.
Yeah.
I'm such a planner, and if something that doesn't go exactly right like I used to, it would bother me really bad.
I'm a planner, as in I need to know where I need to be and then get there. Like for doctor's appointments, I have to know the time, I have to have it scheduled, I have to have like my drive time set, things like that.
Right.
But as far as like our traveling goes, we have no plan in place. so we have to be really flexible because campgrounds aren't going to always have openings, or a storm might blow up out of nowhere and
You gotta roll.
gotta roll. So,
Yeah,
so it's a little different.
It's very different, and what bothers me the most is also trying to plan for work, because we have to have solid internet, we have to have somewhere to be so that we can log on and still work our jobs. So that's the part that bothers me the most about RV living, and just the flexibility piece of that. Something that I have learned with being on the road is that there's a game to it. There's a game to booking sites.
Which goes into being flexible.
Yes. You have to learn how people do things. And while I don't necessarily agree with everything or how it's done in all places, for example, people will book an extra night so that they can leave late the day early and not have to worry about checking out at 11 a.m. So they'll book that extra night and then just leave in the evening the day before.
And that's where you can get your last minute cancellations.
Yeah.
Bookings, like when people are just like coming into campgrounds and say, hey, do you have a spot? That's where those come from, is from people ditching.
You have to learn some of these things kind of the hard way. Just knowing like how people operate and how they actually book these things is really helpful in knowing how to make sure that you're getting the sites that you want to know.
Right, and some people will book for a month because other campgrounds aren't available, and then they'll keep trying for those campgrounds that they want, and then when they find that spot, they'll cancel the rest of their month at their current campground. And so the website might say that they're booked, but call the campground and they actually have a spot.
Yeah, particularly with Thousand Trails, sometimes you have to call the actual campground and not rely
on the website.
That's just part of it.
Website messes up, so you just call the campground or the ranger station. We're
going to show you some more of this. Right now we're at the beach area. There's a public swimming area to the lake. This place also has 2 pools that are pretty awesome, but we're sitting on the edge of the volleyball court. Yeah, but it's super pretty here. So let's go find another spot, and we'll give you a couple more things that we've learned along the way. We moved locations. In fact, on our way, I know we said this is a really pretty campground, and on our way you may have seen a lot of construction.
A lot of potholes.
They're adding 150 sites to this place, full hookups, and they're going to be just as nice as the one that we're in. So,
yes. So even though it looks like a disaster on that area, it's actually it's going to be really nice when they're done.
Yeah. So what else have you learned?
I've learned that I have to work a lot, and not every day can be a vacation, because this isn't
It's not always an adventure.
It's not always an adventure. Well, I mean, everything can be an adventure, but sitting there working on my computer all day isn't really an adventure in itself. It's the things we get to do afterwards that can be adventures, but
Right.
normally 90% of my day consists of work,
Staring at the computer.
which is not an adventure. So you gotta get out of that vacation mode and thinking that RV life is like a vacation, because it's not.
Unless you're retired and it is.
Right. And some people can, right? Like
We're not.
Some people have the flexibility of taking a week or two off at a
Yeah.
time and actually have vacation. Like we get to have a vacation when we go to Acadia.
I think my next learning, I'll add on to that. While it doesn't seem like a vacation all the time, you may not be as like enticed to actually take vacation days if you work.
Right. 'Cause,
And
you
so
haven't
like
had to take any
I've barely
time.
taken any vacation time this year. Doesn't mean I don't need it. And so we're going to be taking some time when we're in Acadia, like she was mentioning. But it's important to still take those days to just be able to recharge and get away from things.
For yourself, yep.
An example I'll give you is when we have meetups now and we meet people that aren't full timers, it's camping for him still, and it's still in kind of the traditional sense,
Right.
where he gets to go. He's off, he's going around, he's doing stuff all
He
day.
has to go on a hike every morning and
Right, and where we're working, and because this is life, and we didn't take the time off. It flips a little bit, and it's pretty cool once you get used to that. But it does take a little time to actually get used to it.
Yeah.
But it's important to always still take those days to recharge.
Yeah, even though like we don't have to take 3 weeks off to go to Maine to
Right.
visit it, because we're just going to be there, but we decided to take a week off so that we could recharge and explore without worrying about having to log in.
Yep. So if you're working still and you're trying to live the RV life, make
It-
sure you take your vacation
Yeah,
time.
it is possible to work from the road. We're doing it. We've been doing it for 6 months, but it does take some planning, like we were talking about,
Mhm.
and you have to make sure you take some time for you.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
So before we go on to our next tip or learning experience of our 6-month adventure, this is the boat ramp side of the lake. So it has a nice little drop off area. It's not really any parking area, so people are just parking in the grass. Someone's got their golf cart with a trailer on
Yeah.
it, which is pretty cool. And then you have canoes and kayaks and all your different little boats out here. That's where we're at
Yeah.
right now.
So another thing that I have learned over the last 6-7 months is just how to interact with people better. Like we've met so many amazing people along the way so far,
Yes.
and it's just been so fun and rewarding to learn more about other people's stories. And so
Their journey.
part of it is on us to be available.
Right.
And so we can't just stay cooped up in the RV. Yes, we want to get out and document our adventures and stuff like that, but part of it is just being outside.
Just being out there.
And as people walk by, saying hi to people, saying hi to them while they're at their campsites.
And I'm going to intervene there because I am a huge introvert. Like, I don't like stepping out of my bubble to say hi. So
Right.
if you ever see me in person and I don't instantly start talking, I'm sorry. It takes me a minute to warm up. But please say hi, because we love to talk. We love to interact. We love to hear stories.
Just mention doodles or e-bikes. She'll start talking.
Yeah. Or the camper. Like, I love to talk about the rig too.
Yeah.
So being able to be available and make yourself be out there is a huge learning curve.
Yeah.
For me, anyways. You are good at it anyways, but
I like talking.
I'm like, it takes effort for me to put myself out there. But like, you'll see that I like to set out on the side patio to work, and that way when people come by and wave, I wave back. And then in the evening, if they see me walking, they're not so scared to come up and talk to me because I'm out there.
Right. I thoroughly enjoy meeting new people, so if you see us, make sure you say hi.
Mine is, you have to have a budget.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. We went through so much money the first couple of months.
No, the first month we did really good.
The first month we did good, but as soon as we started traveling and started looking at RV resorts
Yes.
versus Thousand Trails, we spent so much money. It was like double our mortgage.
Yes.
So
originally
like, the 2 months.
I budgeted what we normally spent being at home. because that's where we're comfortable. We know what we spend every single month at home, so that's what we can afford out on the road.
Right.
So we still buy groceries the same. We still go out to eat the same if like we would normally do. But when you go to places that charge an arm and a leg to stay there, and then they add in the extra car fee and the kids fee and the dog fee,
And a fee for 50 amp
fee
service.
for 50 amp service. So all those little fees add up, and it can be a huge amount if you're not expecting it. So budget, figure out what type of camper you want to be, and try to stick to those campgrounds that you can afford, and then splurge on those vacation stays.
Yeah.
And not for a complete month.
If
He booked us at resorts for a complete month.
If you think you're going to be at like 4-star RV resorts and not spend a ton of money, like you're going to be in for an awakening. But it was helpful for us to get the Thousand Trails membership.
Yes.
It does that does actually help us a lot.
And it's part of our budget.
Yep.
The membership fee, we have it broken up. We didn't pay for it all out front. We were paying monthly payments. So the monthly payment is part of our budget. And as long as we spend at least 2 weeks in 1,000 Trails every month, then we can splurge on the other 2 weeks if we need to.
Right. Yeah,
So-
no, that's a good point.
so
We learned real
just
quick.
Make sure you know your budget.
Yeah.
Biggest tip is take into consideration the people that you're with in the rig.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes people need their alone time. Sometimes people need to just get out and be out of the rig. And that's okay.
Are these hints?
No.
You trying
Like-
to tell me something here?
Like Nick. Nick likes to be alone in the room playing his games with his friends. But Michaela likes to go on long walks and explore the campground. So
Right.
they're two totally different people, and they have two totally different needs, and that's okay.
Yep.
So we can't get mad at Nick for not wanting to go on the walks, and we can't get mad at Michaela for wanting to be secluded in her room
Yeah.
if they change rules.
Everyone's going to have their own experience.
Yes.
And you got to let them. Everybody's going to experience the same. Like we could go to the same destinations, pick Acadia because we're going to be going there, or Niagara Falls. Like everyone is going to experience it a little bit differently, and you just have to be open to
what-
letting them
Yeah. Let
experience it the way.
letting it be theirs.
So we had to learn that a little bit the hard way.
And remember that as they age, their needs are going to change too. Because 6 months ago when we started this, his needs were different than what they are now. Things change.
I think ours is too.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we've upgraded our rig because once we got on the road, we started realizing things that we would prefer to have and that the reflection just wasn't giving us.
Right.
Laundry
Like
for
the washer and dryer, which is a huge one for me because I don't have to go to the laundromat
Yep.
as often. I still go to do the bedding, but
The other thing
Not-
was office space. Just having a place to be able to work.
For the
That's
space.
actually a good tip too. I'll go ahead and elaborate on that one a little bit. If you can, make your workspace and your living space separate. Try to be able to separate the two, because if you're in the same space all day long, it gets old pretty quick. Having a place where I can go into the garage and turn that into an office and actually work, and then at the end of the day leave that place and come into the main living area with everybody else and have some family time.
or like when you
It's
take lunch,
important.
you come out to the kitchen area to have lunch too.
Right.
So you get out.
It's important to get out of the same space. So
Yeah.
if you can, not all rigs allow it, but if you have the option, try to figure out how to separate your working from your living space.
So just keep that in mind.
Lots of learnings.
If you're working remotely, not everybody is. So
Yep.
it's okay. Just get out there and figure out what works for you.
You're going to learn a lot about RV life. You're also going to learn a little bit about yourself.
A lot about yourself.
Yeah. We were poolside. It's actually, they're working on it right now, so it's a perfect opportunity for us to be able to record and not have anybody in it.
Yeah, the pool is closed. This is behind the bathhouse area that's beside the pool.
This pool is a new facility.
This whole thing is
$1.2 million is what they told us.
Yeah, so it's pretty nice. The pool directly behind us goes from 3 feet to 5 feet, and then the other pool is for the kids.
It's more like a beach you walk in. One thing we haven't mentioned about this campground is pretty cool. It's a 1,000 Trails, but it's also a KOA. So you don't have to be a 1,000 Trails member to stay here.
Right.
This is just one of two pools. The other pool is more like a rectangular Olympic-looking pool with swim lanes and stuff like that.
And I think they said that was open only on the weekends right now because
Yeah.
of staffing.
All in all, I would say that this campground's very nice.
Yeah, it's over 500 acres
Yeah,
of land. So that's, you can hike it, you can
it's
bike
perfect
it.
for kids. Huge playgrounds,
So we'll make sure we show you some of the
cornhole, stuff like
playground
that.
area.
Basketball court.
And then, of course, the dog park with picnic benches and tables like this.
Nice grass.
Nice grass. Yes, that's another tip for you guys is don't always expect perfect campgrounds because there's going to be some that are just dirt. The section we're in is just 50 amp full hookup. Well, I think it has 30 amp too, but it's full hookups over here. The older section does not have full hookups on all their sites. So you have to choose
They got the honey wagon.
choose wisely where you park.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to move. Especially if you're a 1,000 Trails member, you can move when there's an
Yeah,
open
'cause
site because it's first come, first
First
serve.
come, first serve. So that's why we were able to move to the other guy's site when we found out he was leaving.
Beautiful place to stay. We have thoroughly enjoyed it.
I know too bad we're only here for a week.
Yeah, I would rank this right up with well, right under Kentucky, which is what you guys saw last week. It's beautiful. Kentucky has a lot to offer too, but these 1,000 Trails have been really nice. Well, look, I hope you've enjoyed this video because we've learned a lot, and we're going to continue to share what we learn as we go.
Yes.
So there will be, I'm sure there will be more videos like this, and maybe even contradicting what we've already said because we're learning as we go.
And things change. Like that's the big thing about RV life is things change. I mean, it changes on your normal life anyways, but even more so the day-to-day in an RV.
Right.
So, be open-minded.
Absolutely. Definitely keep an open mind and stay flexible. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you really like it, make sure you subscribe.
And ring the bell so that you get notified when we release our next video.
And until the next strange adventure.
Keep making your own.